Okay, guys, it's gonna be a quick video. Pretty much, it's gonna be about a Burmese word. Burmese is the language of the country of Myanmar or Myanmar. Before we get to that, let's read this right quick. Moabites, Anakim. The Moabites and the Anakim are distinct but historically intertwined groups mentioned in the Old Testament. The Anakim were a legendary race of tall, warrior-like giants who lived in the southern Canaan, particularly around Hebron. The Moabites were a historical Semitic people who lived east of the Dead Sea, descended from Lot, the nephew of Abraham. The connection. The Emites. Before the Moabites settled the region east of the Dead Sea, the land was inhabited by a tall, numerous people the Israelites considered Rephaim. The Moabites called this ancient group the Emim. The comparison. Biblical texts state that the Emim were as tall as the Anakim, placing both structures in the same literary category of giant stature. Right? Now, what did do to the Anakim? According to the biblical accounts, the Moabites drove out and destroyed a race of giants known as Emim, who previously inhabited their territory. The Bible states that these Emim were just as massive, force as formidable as the Anakim. Right. So when they destroyed them, what a lot of people don't know is that they slept with the women and made children. This is why you have the Nihitic people, children of Lot. Keyword, Lot and Nihitic. They are the tallest, darkest people in the world. Right? However, they have a phenotype that's unique, that's found in many places in the world. So, you also have a Andamanese people in India. Right? So the Andaman Islands are an Indian archipelago in the Bay of Bengal between India and Myanmar, formerly Burma. So it used to be called Burma, right? Now, we type Andaman's people, you find another branch of children of Lot. Very dark. Right. Now, here's why it's important. They are between, what is it? Oh my gosh. They are between India and Myanmar. Alright? We already learned that they mix with the Anakim, right? And we know Hamites. We know Hamites are the dark races, not the Negroes. However, the Nihitic people, what do they have? Afro hair. So they are Negro too. They're just mixed, but a different type of mixed. So we learned that if I could find it. Okay, so where is it? If I could find a So according to Carlton Kuhn, typical Hamitic physical traits included narrow facial features, an orgothanous visage, light to dark brown skin tone, wavy, curly, or straight hair, thick to thin lips, without abrasion, and right. So Ham is dark. However, right, and I said that wrong. There's another thing called Negroid. Yeah, I really said that wrong. Another thing called Negroid, right? So basically, a Negroid is a mixture of a Negro and a Hamite, making a Negroid a super Negro, a super race, a superior race, right? So, like when you mix anything else with a Negro, it becomes a Negroid. A Negro is a 100%, itself, right? However, the Nilotic people, even though they have Afro hair, which makes them Negro, because that's what makes you Negro, they have an admixture that's making them different from everybody else, which is the very tall height and dark skin. So that's why they're called Negroid, not Negro. Right? And I'm going to tell you why this is important. Remember, Negroes, right? We go to Papua, was it Melanesia, right? People, they show red people. These are Negroes. Red people. They're red people. These are Negroes. Nilotic people are dark, are black, almost very dark skin. What they call black. And it's not coming from Hamitic mixture. It's coming from the giants, mixing with the giants. And I'm gonna prove it to you, and prove the location of where they most likely came from, supposedly. So you got a Burmese word, right? You got a Burmese word called Anak. Now this time they want to say something else. So the word by black and Burmese, Anet, referring specifically the color black or the color of an object, is common to add the word for color, Yaang, making it Anet Yaang, Ame Yaang. Now, this version says, how do you say black in Burmese? If you're specifically referring to the black color in a descriptive way, you can pronounce Anak Young, which translates to black color. I'm going to repeat this again. Anak Young. Look, Anak, of a black color. Remember, Moab mixed with the Anakim. That's why they have Anak color. Anak color. Black. Even though it's still brown, but they have Anak color. Not dark. Anak. Dark is a different skin color. I think, yeah. For example, if you want to say this shirt is black, the translation is DNY KA Nat Young Fiat Pade. Right? This is a Burmese word. Right? So it seems like pronunciation Burmese, right? So yeah, sorry if you hear any thunder. But yeah, Anak is a Burmese word for black color. So that means the Burmese know who the Anak is. That's why they say Anak. It means black, which is the giants that Moab mixed with, or children of Lot. And then last, you got, what is it, Mount. You also got Mount Anak, Krakatoa, Mount Anak Krakatoa, child of Krakatoa, is an active volcanic island located in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra, Indonesia. Right. So, the Anak Krakatoa, child of Krakatoa. Then, right, when we do Mount Anak etymology, says child of, young Mount, young of, Gunung, right? Sounds like Egypt worship to me a little bit. That's what it sounds like to me. Except they're worshiping the Anak. So giant long neck. So, but yeah, that's it.